Hey everybody, welcome to Eff Dat Job. This is the show where we talk about shitty jobs, the people who work them, and the people who are trying to escape them. And I'm your host. My name is Rahsaan P.
I'm also your host. My name is Chad.
And we just want to talk about just things going on in the workforce and people's unfavorable or undesired experiences in the workforce, and shed some light on it and give you a little bit of place to, a little bit of space to vent and talk about your experiences, and then, share some of ours too.
Yeah, this is the place where you can air out your workplace grievances. Get that shit off your chest.
Right.
You might be working a really bad job, or you just having a bad day at work or had a bad experience, and this is the place where you could call in and anonymously or not anonymously kind of talk about what's going on with your life and your work life.
All right. So what we got today? Starting off, man. What we got?
So today I wanted to start off by talking about an article I read on NBCnews.com, and it's all about the fact that as we all know, we've all gone through as a collective this whole global pandemic of coronavirus, COVID-19, and because of that, a lot of businesses had to shut down, a lot of businesses had to lay people off, and a lot of people were unemployed in the last year. But the issue that this article is talking about is the fact that now that everything is opening back up, people don't want to work anymore. So, a little bit of background about me. I work for the school district, the city school district. I started working in 2018, and after my first school year working there, because of the fact that our school district has such a large financial deficit in the tens of millions of dollars, somewhere around $60 million.
About $60 million, yeah.
For those reasons, they were talking about letting go of my position. So the position I was working in was created because of a certain incident that happened within the district. And during that first year, we would go to, school board meetings with T-shirts and signs. I save our jobs. People get up there, give their little testimonies, and they saved our job after 2018, the 2018-2019 school year. But then 2019-2020 school year came, and same things happened. And they like, we got to get out there. We got to get back to the school board meetings. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not doing this every year. Every year when they come up and they say that the budget is, we've got to crunch the budget and we got to let some people go. All right, fuck it, then. Y'all got to let me go because I'm not coming in the meeting to fight for this job every year. It ain't that important to me. So they ended up letting us go, and they ended up letting go like 200 and something teachers too on top of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, but during they laid me off in the beginning of January of 2020, and then the coronavirus hit. And I didn't go on unemployment until coronavirus hit because I was expecting to find a job. Like, I had some money saved up. I was like, I'll be straight until I find a job. But then Corona happened and everything shut down. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get no job. I got to get on unemployment. So I get on unemployment, and I'm getting what I'm getting from unemployment from the state plus that extra $600 that the federal government was giving out. And I'm making more money every week, every month than I've ever made in my entire life. And I know it's a lot of people out there who is doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
I got a friend who works construction in Pennsylvania, and every winter, construction workers, they go on like temporary unemployment, and he does that every winter. And he was like, "Yo, I'm making way more money because of the unemployment that I'm getting, plus the $600 on top that the federal government is giving me." He's like, "Shit, I almost don't want to go back to work."
Right. And like you said, like they work seasonal.
They work seasonal.
So yeah, so in the wintertime they're not working, so you're collecting the unemployment with that. But then even there are some people who can work like part time.
Yeah.
They were working part time and still able to still eligible to receive those benefits. So when they were getting that, it's like, yo, they really you really getting money out here. Like you could be working minimum wage if you working 20 hours. And minimum wage $15 now, right? What's that? $300? That's $300
on top of the max amount that you can get from New York State for unemployment is like $513, $514 a week,
Right.
plus $600 a week,
Right.
plus you got a $2,000 stimulus check,
Right.
like,
Right. You know,
like,
it was money. It was money out there, like during this time. And by no means am I ever hating on that, because like I feel like you gotta get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's out there and get it. And by the time people come with those PPP loans and they got to pay them back, like, that's cool. People say what they want to say about it, but if you was really like on your grind and you was on your shit, like, you done flip that, and you.
Yeah.
So when it's time to pay it back, oh, here you go.
take your little
Good.
paper, like, I done made a little bit more.
Yeah, I
off
done
of
made,
it.
I made what I made off of it. I'm straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy how, I mean, I know what some people would think when they listen to this and they watch this. There's some people who may be, and it might not even be conservative leaning, but it's some people out there who will be like, I'll never take a handout. Like, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna bust my ass, I'm gonna figure out a way to, provide for my family, to take care of myself. That's cool. But you thinking about the fact of you working the job that you working now. Think about the people who got laid off, the waitresses and the bartenders who got laid off because restaurants and bars shut down and didn't have no indoor seating.
And that's their source of income. They might not.
And they already don't make people. A lot of people don't realize that waitresses and like wait staff don't make minimum wage. They make like $2 an hour plus tips.
Right.
All right. So if you making $2 an hour plus tips, and then you can go home and instead of working during the pandemic and get unemployment and possibly making anywhere from like $900 to $1,100 a week.
Right.
Why would you not do that? Like, that does not make any sense. Like, I mean,
and you can't, you can't knock those people, because it's like everybody's on their own path.
Yeah.
So it's like that person, that person may not necessarily have the same skill that you have, and you may be, an architect. You may be an engineer.
You just might be somebody who's a skilled laborer. You could be like an auto mechanic or a plumber, or you have a skill set. And not to say that anybody else can develop those same skill sets, but you always got to look at life like everybody's road on life is different.
Right. Everybody
don't have the same opportunities that everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? The playing field is not equal as much as people want to say it is. It's not as equal as. It's not equal at all. I'm not even gonna say it's not as equal. It's not equal.
It's not equal, and it's not designed to be equal.
And it's not designed to be equal. And a lot of these shitty jobs that people is working, I mean, at the end of the day, if you was putting their shoes, you'll be looking at this fucking PPP loans the same exact way that they was looking at them shits. Like,
I look at my personal situation during the pandemic and while everything was going that way, and luckily I was blessed to be in a financial position where with my employment was it was secure, because being in the industry where it's always going to be needed, and then just different incentives that I got just for working during that time. So I look at my position and I'm like, I was, even though we were going through what we were going through with the pandemic, like, I was grateful to even, to be able to still be able to provide and still do the things that I needed to do, even though I had to clock in to work and I had to go in, every day. And, even with people getting sick and with things going on like that, just the after effects of the pandemic, I was still able to go in and, get overtime. And then, like, there was so much opportunity that was out there for me in my industry, and I took advantage of that. So I wasn't able to take advantage of the unemployment or the PPP loan, although I wanted to, and there was a lot of people out there doing all the little scams and stuff like that with the PPP loans. But it's like, you got to be a little bit smarter than that. So I decided, like, that's not a risk that I want to take. Like, I don't want that to backfire on me, and then, I end up having to pay more out than I would have made anyway, which is not a good idea. But I was actually just very, very fortunate and very grateful that I was able to do, what I needed to do during that. But everybody wasn't.
Yeah.
And I do understand that everybody wasn't. That's why for me it's never going to be any judgment off that, because you got to do what you got to do, and it just makes sense. If I could work 20 hours a week, get paid what I get paid from this job,
and then still bring in 2 extra checks on the side,
and then bring 2 extra checks. Why am I worried about, especially with with so much of like the health concerns going on? Like, I'm gonna minimize my risk and still make more money than I would have anyway.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta.
I mean, and I was lucky enough to get a call back in November to be able to go back to the school district. Part of me still wish that I should have been like, nah, I'm good. And but at the end of the day, nobody knew how long the government portion of the unemployment was gonna last.
Right, but you had to know. But it was coming to an end.
Yeah, you got to know it's coming to an end. So it's I'm gonna hedge my bets, and I can get my job back. I'm gonna go take my job back. It's not nothing it's nothing crazy. I'm not doing nothing crazy. I'm not doing no back-breaking labor. It ain't no crazy mental strain on me or
right.
super stress. I've used the unemployment for the time period that I needed to use it for, and I'm able to get back to work. So I'm gonna go back to work.
So one thing I do want to say about that article, because it's saying that people are, there's so many jobs that are available now in the job marketplace, and people aren't applying for them, or people are not, taking them. I think during this time also, when people had so much time off, and however their jobs were affected, they may have necessarily, they may have learned another skill.
That's another thing too. A lot of people were signing up for online classes, because then school became, even though a lot of people talk about the distance learning, the virtual learning and stuff like that, but you look at the opportunity for adult learners, like people who went back to community colleges online to boost their resumes or get certificates or get an associate's degree or whatever. There's a lot of people who went back to school, went into different programs, got different certifications during this time, so that they could get out of those menial jobs, so they could get out of those shitty jobs and get to somewhere else. So what we really might be seeing is it's a lot of people. It might be a lot of people who still trying to take advantage of the unemployment, but it's probably a lot of people who leveled up in this year.
Absolutely.
You had nothing but time and opportunity. You sitting at home.
You ain't got nothing.
You sitting at home. You ain't got nothing to do. You might as well call Everett Scott. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people. There's probably a lot of people who took advantage of that and leveled up, and now they in a better position. And
that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
To me, that's what you would. It just only makes sense to do something, to do that. So it's if I had all of this time off, or we just had a year, a year off of regular everyday life as we knew it at that time, and some people took that time, took advantage of it, learned a new skill. A lot of people, I've seen now, across my social timelines, social network timelines, social media, I see a lot of people have gotten learning about the stock market.
Yeah.
A lot of people the real estate market right now was going crazy, but a lot of people getting into that. I see a lot of people starting their own businesses and things like that, and it's them jobs still hiring, and people ain't applying for them because we found a way to get our own back.
Yeah. Shout out, and the number one reason, we can't gloss over that. The number one reason we got to shout them out is they definitely is an inspiration and somebody to look up to is Earn Your Leisure podcast.
Yeah.
That's the number one. You look at especially in the Black community, but I look at you click on the likes to see who's liking the stuff. You click on one of their posts on Instagram. It's not just Black people on there, it's everybody on there. They're giving out free game to everybody on how to level up yourself financially, how to get into like you said, real estate, stock market, cryptocurrency, NFTs, how to start small businesses.
I saw it for the first time last year, and I ain't never missed an episode.
Yeah, I pick and choose my episodes because some of the shit I don't really care about trucking. I don't know, but I mean, at the end of the day, it might be some gems in the trucking
It's
episode that I
gem. It's
missed.
the and that's what you gotta look for. Just the actual like the fundamentals of the hustle.
Yeah.
Because then like you might look at something that you may have not be interested in, but then you might find just the fundamentals of it,
Yeah.
and it's like that might lead to a whole nother idea. You know, it's crazy. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I went just a part of town that I had really never even drove over there because I never had no reason to ever be over there, right? And I was like, man, I never even knew like this street was over here. Like, what street is this? And she kind of laughed and she was like, yo, I could tell you really on like your real estate game because like yo, you're like everything you talk about is like kind of like you looking at things from a business standpoint. It's like, yeah, man, like it's crazy right now. I'm trying to get in the game. I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do out here. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm
exactly.
trying to make it happen. So
Yeah. So if everybody watching right now, you've probably seen the clip. Hopefully, you've seen the clip where we put out a call to action. We asked y'all to tell us about y'all stories. We told a couple of our stories about the first time that we ever really said, "Yo, fuck this job, f this job." Like I don't like this is whether we ended up moving on from the job or we just kind of first became awakened to the fact that like, oh man, this ain't for me. I can't be here like for too much longer. So we asked y'all for y'all point of view on that. Where y'all coming from? Y'all first time that y'all have said that to yourself when y'all was at work, whether if it was an incident or just realizing what your job entailed after everybody's it's a honeymoon phase whenever you get a new job.
absolutely.
You get there and you're like, oh man, like the money is nice, like oh it's a nice, you're getting adjusted to everything, but then you settle in and you're like, oh, some bullshit, like some bullshit here. So we got some callers that we're gonna call into. We're gonna call and get them on the line and have them tell us their stories.
And that's pretty much how we're gonna try to do that through for most of the shows and get stuff just get other people's point of views, and like I said, we'll still be sharing ours, but just to give y'all a feel for how things are gonna go with our show, and we want everybody to just air out your grievances, man, get it off your chest.
All right,
Eff that job.
so we're gonna bring in our first caller right now. All right, so we got our first caller here. This person I've known almost literally my entire life. This person is near and dear to my heart. They've been begging to be a part of what we got going on here. So,
Begging.
And we're glad to have this person.
we're glad, we are so happy
I was looking forward to this.
that she is joining us today. Welcome to the show, Wendy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Um, didn't know I was a beggar, but okay, we'll go with that for the sake of the show.
For the sake of the show, you could be a beggar today.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
So,
Yes.
so
Okay,
we.
so
Okay, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
My bad. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, we just want to let everybody know that you calling to tell us about your first experience where you had to say "f that job."
Okay. So my first experience, I was working for this uh company here in Rochester,
What kind of company
and
was it?
a communications company.
Telecommunications. Okay.
Yeah. So I had I had a bit of a run-in with management. Um, I I was working in a call center, and
Hmm.
I realized that I was being, well, they were attempting to micromanage me. I don't know what caused it. I'm not sure what it was, but there was some kind of focus put on me. One day,
So they was like trying to single you out and that kind of thing.
well, I don't know if it was specifically me, but this incident made me feel like somebody had been watching me, or something was going on.
Okay.
So one day I was working in the call center. One day I got up and I went to the bathroom. And when I came back, my immediate supervisor pulled me to the side and she said, look, I just want to tell you that it was mentioned that you are leaving your desk and taking a lot of bathroom breaks. Okay, so
Okay.
my first thought was that, okay, well, I get up and I go to the bathroom. Maybe it's frequent, maybe it's more than other people, but whatever. And she said to me, when you go to the bathroom, could you try not to walk past her supervisor's office? Can you go the other way, like walk down the other hallway when you go to the bathroom? Because she came to me and mentioned it to me, and I just don't want you to get in trouble.
So
And I,
let me. So so they want you to take your bathroom breaks, but just don't walk by the big boss. So how much of a walk around the way are they trying to make you walk to get to the bathroom so you don't got to walk past this person? Like, is it
and she
completely out of your
wasn't,
way?
it was completely out of my way. Well, yeah, out of my way in a sense because the first route would be to go past her office.
Okay.
I'd have to, walk a little bit further, but it actually would put me closer to the bathroom where I'd end up. But that was the first way to go was to walk by her office. And she was not the big boss. She was my supervisor's supervisor, but she wasn't like over the whole call center.
Okay.
She wasn't that kind, it wasn't that kind of position for her. So yeah, so she asked me to alter my route to the bathroom. And Chad, you know me. Um, what came out my mouth was not nice, but
I mean,
I,
you can paraphrase if you want to. I don't know. Your
yeah, I was
pastor might be
paraphrasing.
watching this, so you might not want to curse.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
pastor, even if my pastor is watching this, he know me. Um, so what I said was, you tell that big fat bloop that I said she better watch who she blooping with, and I walk wherever the bloop I want to walk in this place. What is she saying? How is she? I mean, does she know anything about me? Maybe I got a medical problem that causes me to have to go to the bathroom so often.
Wait, did you have a medical problem that made you go to the bathroom so often?
Partially, but it was partially, you work in a call center, you get tired of sitting, so you get up and take a walk. But but I did though. I had a reason.
Okay.
I said for one, I said my blood pressure medicine has a diuretic in it, so that causes me to have to use the bathroom
Okay, that's
more.
valid.
Okay, so that was that day. So I basically cursed her boss out through her, told her to go tell her, and I think I called her Slewfoot because she was Slewfoot.
You call the woman Slewfoot.
So, yes. So a few days later, my boss comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my goodness," she said, "My mother is so confused about her medication. She's not sure what she's taking for what." And she holds her hand open. She's got three pill bottles. And said, like, "Do you know which one of these? Do you take either one of these? Or do you know which one of these has a water pill in it?" And I looked at it and I said, "I don't know." I said, "No, I don't take that stuff. I don't know which one it is." I said, "But it's not what I take." Never connecting the two things together.
So
But
she tried
then
to set you up.
she tried to set me up. After I thought about it, I realized she was trying to see if I was telling the truth about it having a diuretic in it by seeing if I knew what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're
Like
saying.
which pill. So I got mad again. So I let her go back to her desk. And this time, though, I went to the union rep and I got a union rep and I explained everything to him. And he was like, "No, this is not going to happen. We'll have a talk with her." So apparently, they had a talk with my supervisor's boss, and she came over and apologized to me.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, I realized, F this job.
Okay.
I'm tired of this. I don't want to be here. Chad, I don't really feel like I should have to work, but that's another subject. Y'all can get up on that one. Call me back. So, um, yeah, I realized that I don't like this job. I'm doing it, but I don't want to be here. And if you're gonna micromanage me to the point where you telling me something about how much or what I do on my way to the bathroom, I don't need this. So basically at that point I kind of retired in place. I just did the minimal work went to work as little as possible, and that was probably maybe like 4 or 5 years before I actually left.
Okay. So,
And I've had other instances at other jobs. Seems that every job I've been in after that, I've had that point where I get to where I'm like, F this job, I don't need this. And
yeah,
I'm not scared to leave a job.
I think you passed that down to me
So
because I get to that point with every job
that's my
too.
story.
After a while,
And
where
I'm
I'm
sticking
like,
to it.
f this job. So I think somehow maybe it was nature, nurture,
Hello?
but some way I got that same genetic, that same
Hello?
gene.
That when it's time, it's just time.
Hello? Hello? Did we lose her?
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Did we lose her?
I think she can't hear us. Hello? No, she hung up. All right. All right. But yeah, so that was an interesting story, to say the least.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, so that was a interesting call, interesting caller. So again, like when we getting these episodes out, we just want y'all to go ahead and just call in and give us your stories too, and
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely want to hear from more people. We want to hear more of these stories about the first time that you said "F that job." All right. So follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram, and just throw those stories in the comments, and we'll pick out the best ones. We'll get in touch with you, and next time we're recording an episode, we'll give you a call so you can come on and tell your story.
and that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, EFFDATJOB.
F that job. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. Make sure you subscribe on all of the streaming platforms where the audio is, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. F with us.
F with us.